Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to the online video class session of Political Science, 4th semester. So, my dear students, we have been discussing about the third unit, which is the center-state relations. So, in the part of central-state relations, we have discussed in our previous class about the the features of federal system. So, before going to discuss detail about the union-state relations, it is very essential to understand the federal structure of India. So, how the divisions, how the powers are distributed between the center and the state. So, these things we need to discuss in a detailed manner. So, yesterday we discussed about the central state relations. So, in the part of that, in yesterday class, we discussed about some of the features of federal India, or the features of federal Indian federal system. So there are various kinds of federal features, like the nature of Indian federal system. If we go in detail about the features of the federal system, there are two set of government, like the central government and as well as the state government at each every state, and the division of powers between the center and the state. So approximately at present there are 100 issues are kept in the list of the union list, and approximately 60 or 61 items or issues are under the state list, and more than 50 plus issues or 50 plus items were in the concurrent list. So like this, the division of power is one of the most important the feature of the federal structure. And we have seen about the list, the category of list, like union list, state list, and the concurrent list. Okay. And we already discussed that the division of the list, or the the identification of the issues under the various lists, like central list, the state list, and the concurrent list. So the lists are different. So that is about it is the division of powers between the state and the central, and some of the issues are kept as the concurrent list. So that is also we discussed in our previous class. And my dear students, so today let us discuss about the non-federal features. So yesterday we discussed the federal features, like the the distribution of power and the two sets of government, the written constitution, the supremacy of the constitution, and the supreme judiciary. But uh, and I also discussed about the bicameralism system, which is applied in the application in the, or which has been in the practice in Indian politics. And today let us discuss about some of the non-federal features of Indian constitution. Okay, that is why we discussed India, that the India is either it is not a federal, either it is not or neither uh, non-federal. So that is why it was called as the quasi-federal. Some of the features are the federal features, and some of the features are non-federal features. So today let us discuss about the non-federal uh, features of the Indian Constitution. So the division of powers. Yesterday we discussed about the division of powers between the center and state. So that is the federal feature. But here the division of powers is not equal. There is a partiality between the division of powers to the central and as well as the state. For example, if we talk about the ministries of the state, like the postal, the foreign affairs, the railways, the military. So like this, approximately 100 items issues are added in the central list, and 60 plus lists items are added in the state list. And some of the issues like marriage, uh, properties, so these are all under the concurrent list. So the division of powers is not equal. So that is why it is a non-federal feature of the Indian Constitution. So India is a central government has been given the more powers than the state. Usually in federal government, the powers are divided equally, but here the powers are not divided equally. That is why it is considered as the non-federal feature. So non-federal state. So this is one of the important non-federal feature of the Indian Constitution. And another feature of the non-federal feature is the single citizenship. So here in Indian Constitution, it is that it only have a single constitution. There are no separate constitution for the states. The only one constitution which is applicable to all the citizens of the state and all the citizens of the people. So irrespective of their caste, class, region, and religion. Of course, there are some kind of provisions were given to uplift the marginalized sections in the India with the name of the reservations. But all are equal before law. According to, if we talk about the Article 14.1, all are equal before law. So in a true federal system, there are separate constitutions for the state and the central. But here in India, the only one constitution is there. So that is why it is not the federal feature. Okay, that is why it is considered as the non-federal state. And if we talk about the constitution is not strictly rigid, because in India we have a two set of we have a two type of the constitutional amendment systems are there. So the federal feature of Indian constitution is that it can it can amended by the Indian Parliament, but there are some procedures. The Parliament on the many subjects matters does not need to approval of the state legislatures to amend the constitution. Here, the supreme authority is given to the only Parliament. The state the state houses doesn't have any kind of approval. And however, in a true federal government, the both state and central government take part in the amendment activities. So that is why here the major issues, the majority issues are amended by the parliament. And there are two procedures like rigid and uh, flexible. So in the form of rigid amendment system, the 2 by 3rd of the houses should be attend and accept. And in a flexible manner of the amendment, only there is no strict rule or the condition like the 2 by 3rd. So the general majority is enough to amend the issues. So like the name of the states and the territories of the states. So like that. And that is why it is the constitution is not strictly rigid. So that is why it is uh, not a federal state. And another more important the feature of the non-federal state of non-federal of India feature that the state control over the state. Actually, in Indian Constitution, the central government is has the control over the state governments. This means that any law made by the central government has to be followed by the state governments, and the state government cannot interfere in the matter of the central government. So it means the whole and sole authority has given to central government rather than the state government. So here the state government does not have any power or any right to interfere in the matter of the foreign affairs. So like that, this is also one of the important feature of the non-federal system of the Indian Constitution. And the single citizenship in India, the citizens who only have a single citizenship with the whole country. So wherever they live, they are living in Jammu Kashmir or they are living in the Tamil Nadu or they are living in Gujarat or they are living in the Assam, wherever it may be. but only one single citizenship has given to them. But in the true federal government system, the citizenship is dual. They have dual citizenship. One citizenship to the central and as well as the another citizenship to the states. But here only one single citizenship is there. That is why it is uh, it is called as it is considered as the non-federal feature. And the another feature is the parliament does not represent the state equally. So in the upper house, for example, Rajya Sabha, in the Rajya Sabha, the lower house Lok Sabha do not have the equal representation of the states. The state which is more popular have the more representatives in the Rajya Sabha than the state which is the least population. But in a true federal government, the upper house of the legislature uh, has equal representation from the consisting states. But here is the situations are different. The large state having the more number and the small state having the less number. So that is why the parliament does not represent equally to the states. So that is why this is also not the federal feature of the state. So that is why the Indian constitution is the non-federal constitution, non-federal state, and unified judiciary. Here, the judiciary is one of the most important branch of the Indian constitution. So, in Indian judicial system, the unified or integrated Supreme Court of India is regarded as the highest court of the justice in the country. But each and every state has their own states like high courts. But all over the Supreme Court is applicable to all over the states. It is the supreme highest court of the country. The high courts and other subordinate courts also there in India, but they are all the high courts and the subordinate courts are works under the supervision of the Supreme Court. The high courts and the subordinate courts does not have any the uh, independent judiciary system. They have to follow the rules and regulations and the the judgments of the Supreme Court itself. And finally, that is why it is not the federal form of the federal form of government or the federal form of constitution. India is a non-federal state. And finally, the proclamation of emergency. Here, the President of India has been given emergency powers by the Constitution of India. Okay, but however, he can execute such powers and declare emergency in the country under three conditions. Once emergency is declared by the President of India, the central government become the dominant and the state government become the under the total control of the central. So the state government lost their liberty in this regard against the principle of the federal government. So that is why it is not the federal state. Here, the proclamation of emergency is given to the president, and president may uh, complete whole and sole authority at the time of emergency. At the time of emergency, the states are lost their authority or lost their liberty. So this kind of feature is showing that the India is the non-federal state. Okay. So my dear students, this is about some of the non-federal features of the Indian Constitution. So yesterday we discussed the federal features of the government, and today we discuss the non-federal features of the government. So it means that India is neither federal state nor non-federal state. So that is why the case where was stated it is the quasi-federal, అర్ధ సమాఖ్య. బట్ సమాఖ్య కాదు, కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వం అంటే యూనిఫైడ్ కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వం కాకుండా అర్ధ సమాఖ్య.